Intro to Soil Health Part 4. Soil health means human health. In this video, we will talk about how soil health relates to nutritious food, food security, human quality of life, and the benefits of farming regeneratively and eating locally. Biological activity and nutrient cycling are complex processes. We now know that decomposition and nutrient cycling in healthy soils provide far more nutrients for food crops than synthetic NPK fertilizers. Degraded soils produce nutrient-deficient foods and create human health disorders. E. coli and Salmonella in meats are a symptom of degraded microbiome in livestock. More diversity in vegetation, for example cover crops, mean more associated biological organisms and underground activity, and this means more nutrients released for plant uptake. These soil nutrients are incorporated into the crops we eat, or into the forage eaten by animals used for food. Synthetic fertilizers and pesticides both destroy essential underground life and cause negative health effects for humans from exposure or when consumed. This chart shows the major nutrients in soils that are typically available to plants. Their abundance depends on soil pH, and ideal nutrient availability is around a pH of about 7, which is also roughly the pH of water. Organic material added to soils can provide plants with a wide array of nutrients by way of microorganisms in the soil. On the other hand, a vastly reduced range of nutrients are provided to plants by chemical fertilizers, which are designed to feed plants by targeting their roots directly. The nutrients in the food we eat come from the soil, when we eat plants like fruits and vegetables directly, or when we eat animal products grazed on plants. Food security is a measure of the availability of food and people's ability to access it. Focusing on food safety, pathogens can be discouraged by healthy, high-functioning soils. Soil microbes can affect plant uptake of toxins and contaminants. Foodborne illness risk is reduced in healthy soils. The increase of antibiotic-resistant pathogens on our planet degrades soil function. Microorganisms can help remove contaminants from soil. Agricultural practices that promote microbial, plant, and food diversity are what we need. Farmers' quality of life can range from very low to very high depending on their agricultural practices. Suicides among farmers are 1.5 times higher than the national average, or even higher if farm suicides are masked as farm-related accidents. Factors include fluctuating crop and input prices, interest rates on land and loans, debt, the weather, finding laborers, the use of antibiotics, mixing and applying chemicals, livestock pharmaceuticals, and feed supplements. Farmers have little say in what crops and the diversity of crops they can grow due to insurance. Conventional practices are like a band-aid, only managing symptoms. While regenerative farming may produce lower yields, that does not necessarily equate to lower profits. A recent study found that farms with regenerative practices were 78% more profitable than those with only conventional practices, due to things like fewer inputs. You can begin transitioning to regenerative farming immediately. Regenerative farmers often describe their work as fun and enjoy observing increased biological activity, from earthworms to wildlife. Soil health practices are increasingly becoming more accepted by farmers. Practitioners of soil health find the greatest success by learning on their land through observation, allowing them to work in harmony with natural systems rather than against them. Currently, only 12 plants and 5 animal species make up 75% of what the world eats, and therefore food systems are vulnerable to disasters and disease outbreak. Farmers are limited in what crops they can grow based on what is covered by crop insurance. Small farms can produce a variety of foods and thus increase biodiversity and food security. Local, nutritious, spray-free produce is increasingly more in demand. Local food fosters resilience in local communities. The concept that we are feeding the world really relies on genetically engineered seed, pesticides, and 40% of our biggest crop, corn, becomes fuel for cars, and the most of the second biggest crop, soybeans, is used for animal feed. We are feeding the world with cheap foods and low nutrition value. Small, regenerative farms that utilize soil health practices to produce local foods are gaining popularity. Some of the benefits of sourcing local foods include: it helps local farms survive and thrive. It boosts local economies. Food travels less. There's less waste due to shorter distribution chains. It protects agricultural land from redevelopment and sprawl. It creates more integrated, connected communities. It connects community members with farmers and food producers. And we get healthy, fresh, and flavorful local foods. Diversification of agriculture reduces reliance on monoculture. Booker T. Whatley was a professor at Alabama's Tuskegee Institute and student of Dr. George Washington Carver, and he was one of the original thinkers behind community-supported agriculture, or CSAs. CSAs allow shareholders to commit to a one-time purchase of a usually weekly subscription of produce before the start of the harvest season. Advantages of CSAs include marketing time spent early in the year before the busy field season. Members make their payments for the season up front. The set price allows members to help take on any risk. Farmer-to-member relationships are created, and the members may visit farms. Fresh, nutritious foods and exposure to new fruits and vegetables. And many CSAs even deliver to your door. Black farmers have been organizing food hubs since 1973, beginning in Mississippi. As said by Leah Penniman in her book Farming While Black, no analysis of food hubs and food systems can exist without acknowledging the pioneering work of Southern Black farmers in general, and the Federation of Southern Cooperatives in particular. The definition of a regional food hub, according to the Food Hub Collaboration, is a business or organization that actively manages the aggregation, distribution, and marketing of source-identified food products, primarily from local and regional producers, to strengthen their ability to satisfy wholesale, retail, and institutional demands. Goods are sold to places like schools, grocery stores, restaurants, hospitals, hotels, and community members. The integration of food banks and food hubs increases the availability of fresh local foods for people in need. And then there's farm-to-school programs. Kids have access to nutritious, high-quality local food and are better equipped to learn in school. Enhanced education with hands-on learning in the classroom with farm-to-school activities. It can be a significant financial opportunity for farmers, fishers, ranchers, food processors, and food manufacturers. And it benefits everyone from students, teachers, and administrators to parents and farmers, providing opportunities for community engagement. And it creates new jobs and strengthens the local economy.